I guess you can see from the pictures that this is your church. I've been sitting on this corner for a very long time. I have seen many things from my perch here: world wars, the many human rights movements, the ebb and flow of businesses in downtown area, and the vast number of people who have called me their church home through the years. As I reflect, I wonder if I'm continuing to serve a vital role to those who choose to worship here and to the community in general. Have I outlived my mission? Have I really made a difference in the lives of my people? I know God is still present within my walls, but is that enough? The world has changed so much. Some say mainline churches, such as me, are doomed to fail. And, to top it off, I'm old. My joints creak. The air within me doesn't always keep my people warm or cool when they enter to worship or serve. And then we need to talk about the costs of doing the work. I've heard through the years that it's never been this bad before. But it seems my people have always stepped up to the plate, and we have been able to continue the work. Is it different now? Are we really doomed? Has it ever been this bad before? If I was just to go away, would anyone notice? Would anyone care? I don't know. I just don't know. Excuse me, who are you?
Hey, First Christian Church, what's happening? You seem a little down in the bell tower. But never fear, Clarence is here.
Good to meet you, Clarence. First Christian Church welcomes all to our table.
I know, that's why I'm here. Times are tough, money is tight, and I overheard what you were saying. Whether to stay or to go is a decision you and your people gotta make. But I have a stellar idea. How about we take a look at what things might have been like without you, and what things might be like if you hang up your sneakers?
Tune in next week when Clarence takes the church down a path of awareness or destruction. By the way, the church doesn't know it yet, but Clarence is an angel in training. I hope he has the experience to see us through this.
I'm back! Church! Church! Where are you?
Oh, I'm still here. I've been looking around the rooms and hallways, and I must say, my stained glass windows are still beautiful, and my people have taken very good care of me. Do you know we are even getting an updated heating and air conditioning system?
Yeah, I heard that. What will the Tuesday guys do when they don't have to worry about the boiler or mess with the air handler? Party!
Well, I don't know about that.
Why so glum, buddy? Bats in your belfry again? Bugs in your basement?
No, it's just, do you think that I've really contributed to those who have grown up in me? Or did they just go on with their lives? You know, I'm more than brick and mortar.
Well, I did know that. And I have located some folks who grew up here. Why don't we ask them?
Hi, my name is Nikki Jorgensen, and I'm the pastor of Central Christian Church in Denver, Colorado. I grew up in Ponca City. My parents are Bob and Claudia Jorgensen, and our family have been members of the church for many years. I was in the nursery at the church and was an active part of the children's program, which is where I met many of my very best friends that are still like family to this day. We went through the youth group program together, and through there we were able to go on mission trips and church camp in both Colorado and Oklahoma. The church was always a safe place. First Christian Church Ponca City laid the foundation of my faith and put me in the right path for my vocation to this day. First Christian Church Ponca City was a place where I always felt seen, where I felt valued, and where I felt like I belonged. Growing up with Kip Wolf and Chuck Heyer as my pastors was a real blessing. And in fact, some of Kip's sermons still linger on my heart to this day. First Christian Church, Ponca City, is a place where I've always known that I will receive love and a smile anytime I'm in the building, even to this day. First Christian Church, Ponca City, provided my friends and I a safe place to gather often after school. It's where I was able to serve on committees with my Grandma Jay. In fact, we served together on the committee that formed the Friendship Feast. And that time with her and those memories still live with me to this day. In fact, the church allowing youth to serve on committees is how I learned to become a leader. And those experiences helped me in my planning and my leading. First Christian Church, Ponca City, is so special to me and into my faith. When I think of a church home, I often think of the sanctuary there in Ponca City. I think of the youth room and the comfort of the couches. I think of the adults that often had to tell us to be quiet and stop running, but it was always done in love. In fact, I remember one sermon that Kip had to stop preaching and ask us up in the balcony, "Hey, you girls have anything you want to share with the rest of us?" We weren't always perfect, far from it for sure, but we always knew we could be ourselves. I thank First Christian Church, Ponca City, for being a light to a young girl. You were there when I was a baby. You were there when I grew and found my voice in the church. You were there to commission me when I headed off to be a missionary in Los Angeles. And you were with me on my ordination as hands were laid and I became a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I thank you, First Christian Church, Ponca City, for the influence you have had on my life and for the influence you continue to have to this day. You'll always be one of my favorite congregations, and I thank you for loving my family and for accepting me just as I was then and now. Blessings on your future, and I look forward to the next time I'm back in town. Thank you for this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Carol Stoffer, and one of the first experiences of being treated like an adult I had while attending First Christian Church there in Ponca City. I was probably 14 years old, and we had an interim pastor, and I was questioning just about everything to the chagrin of my parents and teachers and siblings and anyone that would stand still long enough. And I had a lot of questions about faith and choices and determining my own path. And this interim minister, instead of turning those questions around at the door or giving me a rote response, said, "I don't know. What do you think about that?" And offered me entry into a forum where I could really study the Bible and study what it meant to be a Christian. And from being in those spaces and being seen through the eyes of adults as someone willing to engage with, made me realize what a choice Christianity is, and that to live a life of service is a choice that we have to make every day, and that no one's got it figured out, and that all we can hope for is, to live our lives in accordance with the best way we know how right then. And I was welcomed into a group of people who had a lot of experience in solving problems and learning to be giving and learning to be welcoming. And learning to pass on judgment in favor of bringing people together. So I really enjoyed that opportunity, and it taught me a lot about how I would live the rest of my life. And that's what I try and do today as a leader in the Army, is just show soldiers that they don't have to have it all figured out, and they don't have to be right all the time. They just have to be willing to be part of something bigger than themselves, and to make the choice every day to serve, and make the choice every day to lead. And that's the best that any of us can hope for.
I guess the church might have a greater impact than we sometimes think we do. But I have a feeling that Clarence and the church have more to explore. I hope to see you next week.
Hello, church!
Well, hello, Clarence.
You seem to be in a better mood today.
I guess I am. Those were some pretty neat kids you showed me last week. But they're adults now and have been away from these walls for a long time. I just keep wondering if we will still be vital in 2024 and beyond.
Give it a rest, church. Don't you think those kids are making a difference in the lives of their congregation, their soldiers, their co-workers, and their friends every single day? Can't you just accept who you are and move on?
No, I can't. I've watched the demographics of my people change, and I've been present for the highs and lows Ponca City has experienced through the years. The industrial changes, the economic fluctuations, and the employment's instabilities. What am I doing to stay the course for another generation?
Wake up call! Church, there are some things that you do and have done for so long, you don't even realize the impact you are making on your community right now.
Well, if you say so, I guess. I just don't see it.
Well, let me show you.
One day in church, there was a sermon preached by Kip Wolf, the minister of this church 30 years ago. He wanted us to become a mission church. At that time, challengers were doing sermon talkbacks for lessons. Several of us decided to explore what the needs in the community might be. After much research and talking to organizations such as DHS, we chose a free meal program. On January 2nd, 1990, the Friendship Feast was born. That first week, we started serving meals for 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday. It was a week of excitement and nervousness. There were only a handful of guests at the start, but as the word traveled, the numbers grew. Much to our surprise, we were able to add more days as churches and organizations called and wanted to cook and serve a meal. Soon we had filled in the calendar from Monday through Thursday every night of the month. Trust was essential to establish on both sides. We were mixing two cultures. When we started, one of the things some of our guests were so afraid they wouldn't get their fair share of food they felt they were entitled to. When we would hand out bread to take home that had been donated, some would hide a loaf under the table and ask for more. As we all began to have mutual trust, this has changed over time. Another benefit we found was the community that formed among our guests and some of the volunteers. It gave them a night out to visit with friends. The surprise for all of us was that we got as much out of serving our guests as they did having us serve them. From the beginning, we decided to serve our guests rather than have them go through a line and serve themselves. We felt this would be better, more like going for a night out rather than a soup kitchen. It is amazing this has been going on for 30 years and continues thanks to the dedication of Bob Corbin and those serving on the board and the cooking teams and the community support.
As I was driving home from church last Sunday, I started thinking about the sermon on love that Pastor Stephen had given us and tying it in with the presentation that was given to us last Sunday on our church. And I thought, what is love in a church? A church, it's a ministry. And a ministry that I am extremely proud of being part of, and part of starting it, is Coach for Kids. Coach for Kids is a ministry of First Christian Church and was started many years ago. I could not tell you how many years ago it was. But Don Edwards and I, after a board meeting and a cup of coffee, started talking about what could we do for kids in Ponca City. And we whittled it down, and it became Coach for Kids. That was something that I saw after being in elementary education as long as I'd been. That was a need. All you would need to do each day when it started getting cold was stand at a door in any elementary school in Ponca City to see a kid come to school. They didn't have a coat. They didn't have even a long sleeve shirt. Or they were wearing their brothers or sisters' hand-me-downs that may be torn, too big, too little. It could be mom and dad's sweater. You see a mom walking to school, she doesn't have a coat, but her 6-year-old would have a coat. From that, we came to the board. They approved it. We got it approved by the Board of Education. And from there, we had seed money that some members of our church had given to us. And from that, Coach for Kids, that was ministry at First Christian Church, started. We told the teachers, we told the principals, and we told the counselors. And it was a success. And I guess you take a success and you can kind of grade it on how a kid reacts when they receive just a coat. Some of the kids that received coats had never had a new coat. Those kids repaid what we did for them in our ministry with a hug, with a smile, with tears, some of them even with a kiss. So when you reach into your closet and you have to pick between 3 or 4 coats, remember there are kids in Ponca City that don't have a coat, and we can do what God asks us to do and take care of the small children.
Do you think our church will ever understand the importance of what it does every day, every month, every year? Do you think our church can stay the course for the next generation? Next week, we will vote on the 2024 church leadership and decide next year's budget. Then we will have the opportunity to pledge our investment in those decisions. I sure was hoping that Clarence would get his wings. Maybe the church is just too hard to convince. I guess we will see.
"2023 is winding down. I guess my people will be making some important decisions today. I have been really blessed by Clarence's visits. I just hope..."
Oh, hey! Did I hear you say you were blessed by my visits?
Well, yes, you did. It's been interesting.
I'm not sure interesting is the word I would have chosen, but okay. Anyway, you need to keep the faith. I'm sure you know that faith is defined in the Bible as the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Now, I need to tell you, because I have it on very good authority, that there are many good folks who had faith in the mission of First Christian Church, both today and in years gone by. So buck up, big guy.
I suppose you're right, but...
Oh, for crying in a bucket! Do you not remember those faithful servants who provided for your needs even before you knew you had needs? And what about the faithful servants here in this building today, and those watching online who are committed to being the hands and feet of Jesus right now, right here?
You're right, Clarence. I've been such a doubter. You have helped me see that a heart full of faith is better than a soul full of doubt. I have a lot left to offer. I still have reservations about what is to come, but if I am who I say I am, and believe what I say I believe, then I must have the faith to allow God to continue to work through me, both inside and outside my walls. Thanks to the people of First Christian Church, we will continue our work. And thanks especially to you, Clarence, for helping me rediscover my purpose.